guys, this is Paul, and this is part 2 of our holy crap, I just bought a TIG machine, now what do I do video. First of all, I want to apologize for screwing up the arc shots. You notice there's no arc shot close-ups in this. I forgot to put the micro SD into the arc shot camera. And I also apologize for running this long and making it into 2 parts. I didn't mean to do that, but sometimes I can't shut up. Anyway, on to part 2.
This is our first homogeneous weld. Now, if you heard that fizzling sound at the beginning, that's because this is the first time I turned on the machine today, and I basically didn't prime the argon hose. So we've got this kind of brownish covering there, and until the argon coverage started right about there, you can see the weld is contaminated. Now throughout here it's very smooth, it's very shiny, and then we get to the end, I tapered off slowly off the pedal and tapered out. Now that 125 amps looks about right to me. So I'm going to do one a little hotter and a little colder, and we'll take a look at them and we'll see what looks best. Mark. Alright guys, so this time I turned down the amperage to about 100 amps. So that's 25 amps down. That's pretty significant. You should see a significant change. We're going to do the same thing again. Three, two, one. Alright guys, there's our second weld on top of our first weld. And you can see there's no contamination at the beginning of this one. The puddle size is even and consistent, but I had to go a considerable bit slower than I did on the 125 amps. Now I'm going to do another one at 150 amps. Alright, there's our third one at 150 amps. You can see I jumped the gun there a little bit, and a little bit too fast. But you can see same puddle size as 125 amp one. But this one took me about 4 seconds. So you got to move pretty quick if you're going at 150 amps. If you can look at the back side, you can see where all the heat has come through, but none of them has penetrated 100%. Let's crank it up a little bit higher and see if we can penetrate 100%. Alright, this is about 175 amps, and you'll notice I'm going to have to move slower. Now what I'm watching for is the puddle to sag. There we go. Once that puddle sags, I know we're penetrating. Last puddle, and you can see how much wider it is and how much sunk. That way you can't really see how sunk in it is. It's just a tiny bit sunken in. Got good penetration. So what's your call? I would say between 125 and 150 amps, somewhere in there. So let's run one final bead at 135 amps. Well, if we're going to go for full penetration, let's run it at 150 amps, and I'm going to slow down. Guys, there is our final run, our final bead, and that's pretty good looking. You can see the very tight and concise ripple pattern. And if we flip her over, you can see the penetration. So I like that amperage speed setting, and that's what I would go with for welding 2 pieces of metal like this if I was looking for 100% penetration weld. So you, as the new owner of a fine and fancy TIG welding machine, what are you going to do? Well, first off, hide it in the garage before your wife sees it. And if she finds it, just play stupid. That's your best bet. Don't try to lie your way out of it. She'll figure you out and then you're dead. But really, for an 1/8" piece of steel like this, practice-wise, this is what you're going to do for like 50 times before you even think about adding filler metal. Set the amps on your machine to about, let's go for 135. That seems like a good starting spot. Give yourself about a 1/2 second of pre-flow, 5 seconds of post-flow, 15 CFM, keep it there, and then get your 1/4" stick out, get yourself all set up, strike your arc, wait for the puddle. I mean, if you got to stick your head down there like this, then you got to stick your head down there like that, but you got to see the puddle. If you can't see it, you can't weld. Once you see the puddle, strive for a consistent height and a consistent travel speed of about a 1/16, no more than an 1/8 of an inch in each movement. I mean, you're going to try and make it as smooth as you can, but realistically, you're making small movements. Do it, look at it, evaluate it, do it again. Go faster, go a little bit slower, go a little bit faster. Adjust your height so that you're as close as possible without touching the puddle. If you touch the puddle, you're going to have to regrind your tungsten. Practice, practice, practice. In the next video, we'll do the same thing, and we'll add filler metal using both the lay wire and dip techniques. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.